ఆడు దొంగన కొడుకు పార్టీ ఏది మామ అని అడిగితే పార్టీ లేదు ఏం లేదు అంటుండు. ఆయన సంగతి చేయాలి పోయినప్పుడు.
This is clearly for adults. Mounika.
Hi, Rohit.
Rohit. With Mounika.
I don't think we should break off an episode like this.
Hi
Hello.
again. Can you hear us? I was just saying that we shouldn't like break off a recording like this because I forgot everything we talked about last time.
Remember last episode, my hair and everything. I look
But
yeah,
the
back.
host should apologize. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you're doing that.
Rajmouli took quicker to complete his movie Bahubali than we took the amount of time we took to complete this podcast episode.
Yeah.
But
We talk about it once we are off cam.
Okay.
yeah,
It's like all the record things.
Mounika.
Hi, Rohit.
Rohit. With Mounika.
Nice. Okay.
Rohit is this.
Same. What was it? Argonauts, Red Team.
No, he's Yellow House.
నాదొక లోకల్ టీమ్.
Okay.
Okay, good.
This is how he is. Okay.
Okay.
As much as tall he is, that much funny also he is in, in the
okay.
class. All the fun stories that have happened, it's one of the reasons is him.
Rohit.
Yeah. If school was fun or the classroom was fun, otherwise it would have been boring, right? We need people like Rohit. Otherwise it will be like pale. But thanks, Rohit. Thanks for joining. Where are you, Rohit? I don't even know which part of New Zealand you are in. Of course, now I know Auckland.
Auckland is the capital, right? If I'm not wrong.
కమర్షియల్ క్యాపిటల్ ముంబై లాగా.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means.
It's not the official capital.
What is the
ఫైనాన్షియల్
official?
హబ్ లాగా మామ.
Oh, okay. What is the official capital?
వెలింగ్టన్.
Oh, okay. How long has it been, New Zealand, Kelly?
ఇప్పుడు ఆల్మోస్ట్ 4 years అవబోతుంది.
2018, right? Or 2019?
2019లో వచ్చాను.
So what did you do your program in Masters?
నేను ఐ డిడ్ మై మాస్టర్స్ ఇన్ లాజిస్టిక్స్ అండ్ సప్లై చైన్ మేనేజ్మెంట్. ఇండియాలో అమెజాన్లో వర్క్ చేశాను అనమాట 2 ఏళ్ళలో.
Right.
సో లాజిస్టిక్స్ అండ్ సప్లై చైన్లో కాస్త ఎక్స్పోజర్ దొరికింది. అండ్ దెన్ ఐ వాస్ లైక్ చలో వై నాట్ దీంట్లోనే కోర్స్ చేద్దామని చెప్పి ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేశాను ఆప్షన్స్.
Okay.
I zeroed in on Australia and New Zealand. And Australia వచ్చేసి it's very, very expensive.
Right.
2 years
Whatever.
course would have costed me about 50 lakh Indian rupees.
Oh my God. Wow.
Wow.
I think for me it was like 30, 35. Computer science degree, it was like that. So
this is out of my reach అని చెప్పి నేను అక్కడికి పోలేదు.
How was that visa timeline though? Like, because Ireland, your friend said it
Yeah,
was like
10 days.
1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You apply this weekend and next weekend you got the student permit.
నాకు 4.5 months పట్టింది వీసా రావడానికి.
Yeah.
Australia and New Zealand are very similar in terms of the way they function. Basically, sister nation కదా.
Right. So it was getting admit and the
it
visa.
took me a while. వీళ్ళ immigration New Zealand వచ్చేసి it's probably one of the most stringent departments going around.
Right.
ఎవరికి వీసా అంత ఈజీగా దొరకదు. బాగా స్క్రూటినైజ్ చేసి టాప్ టు బాటమ్ చెక్ చేసి సాటిస్ఫాక్టరీ ఉంటేనే వీసా ఇస్తారు.
అంటే what is that?
నాకు ఇన్ఫాక్ట్ నా కోర్స్ లిటరలీ 2 weeks లో స్టార్ట్ అవబోతుండే నాకు ఆ టైంకి స్టూడెంట్ వీసా దొరికింది. my course was supposed to start on the 19th of July 2019. నాకు వీసా దొరికింది July 4th రోజు. And I'd applied like 8 months ago. So they basically check everything అనమాట. మన పర్సనల్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ వెరిఫికేషన్ చాలు చేశారు అంటే మొత్తం బ్యాక్ డేట్ ని పే స్లిప్స్ బ్యాంక్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్.
Yeah, 8 months is
like my student visa for Canada took I think around 3 months. 3-4 months.
Yeah.
That gave me so much anxiety. I was checking every day, the portal and
ఎవరి mail వచ్చినా
IRCC నుంచేమో అని
getting an admission mail from a college.
That's just the first step.
No, that itself is like ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందా and then visa కోసం
once you get it then the visa is the next
visa is a lot more painful కదా admission కంటే.
Admission probably easy, but visa, financial check and are you gonna settle there? I don't know, like New Zealand, are they worried that you might settle in New Zealand or?
Nah, they are definitely worried and that's where you've got to be a little careful. అక్కడ పోయి yes చెప్పామంటే straight up reject చేసేస్తారు.
Similar stories, yeah.
So they're not, do you think it's a very immigrant friendly country or?
It is not immigrant friendly at the moment because the ruling party is a little in favor of it's totally in favor of locals and
right.
I think ఇది చాలా చిన్న కంట్రీ కాబట్టి it relies on migrants for pretty much everything. And that is something that the ruling party is not in favor of.
Hmm.
They want locals to fill that void.
Hmm.
So they're like totally in favor of locals and
Hmm.
anti-immigrant, to be fair.
So Rohit, did
This
that
is-
like affect your job,
Nah,
opportunities?
that way it doesn't affect you personally. This
Okay.
is just on a political front. The government is pretty anti-immigrant. It in no way affects you personally. This is probably one of the most friendly and lovable nations. Basically indigenous people are brown skin.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's something that goes in our favor. So there's this basically zero racism. I mean, lately there's been a few cases, but again, it's probably one of the safest countries to live in. And it keeps ఈ global surveys like top 5 వస్తుంది.
Hmm.
Invariably top 5 వస్తుంది New Zealand. It's one of the
Okay.
safest places to live in.
And how is like the student, the ratio of Asians versus New Zealand?
It's about, I'd say about 8 or 9:1. You'll see 7 Indians, a couple of Chinese, and then
It's
maybe one local.
right. Hmm. Yeah, clearly the only person non-Asian is the professor.
There's the tutor and everyone else.
So how was the timeline of graduation 2 years, master's program?
It took me 1.5 years because COVID
Okay.
wala everything shrink అయింది.
Right. Hmm.
Okay.
And then all of it was online, and to be honest, it worked as a blessing in disguise for me. A lot of things went in my favor because of COVID. Apart from me not being able to meet my family for so long, I think
Hmm.
quite a few things went in my favor. Right from
Hmm.
me, because I also got a right to work full time on my student visa because the situation was such that they couldn't rely on local people. So
Okay.
in student visa lone I was working full time because of COVID.
Oh wow.
So
So
I was
the
working full time, studying full time.
the rules for employment changed sort of during
అది
COVID.
బేసిక్ గా టెంపరరీలీ ట్వీక్ చేశారు జస్ట్ టు
Right.
ఫిల్ ఇన్ దట్ లేబర్ గ్యాప్.
Right. Hmm.
సో నేను
So how is
చదువుతూ ఫుల్ టైం
how
వర్క్
is it
చేశాను అన్నమాట.
usually? Like when you graduate, what's the timeline of how long do you have before you have to get a job? Are you allowed to stay in the country?
That's something that's where New Zealand is slightly different when compared to others. You get a open work permit irrespective of whether you find work or not. You get an open work visa for 3 years.
Okay.
It was 3
Okay.
when I got it. It's not 3 anymore.
Okay.
That's so yeah. If you do a postgraduate degree or anything higher than that, you get a 3-year work permit, or used to get a 3-year work permit.
Okay.
So by virtue of doing a master's, I got a 3 years permit.
Okay.
So yeah, I knew that come what may, I was going to get a 3-year work permit.
Hmm. Right.
So అదొక security లాంటిది అన్నమాట. You rest assured you are going to stay here for 3 to 4 years.
So you're allowed to be in the country for 3 years without a job. You can do job hunt.
You can do pretty much anything. You can sit
Any
jobless, do whatever.
Okay, you can do any job as well, right? Okay.
Yeah, you can. You're welcome to do anything. You're welcome to stay unemployed as well.
Hmm. What happens after that? Do you get to extend it or sponsorship?
If you're working with an accredited employer, then yeah, you can have your employer sponsor your visa.
For how
If
many? How
you're,
long?
it depends on, it's got various factors involved. It depends on the sector you're working in, your pay scale, and all of that.
When do you get like a permanent status then? When does that happen?
That's I mean, again, I think that I told you I was lucky because of COVID. Kada.
Mm.
This is why
Yeah.
I mean, because all of the government was like forced. They were pushed to a corner where they had to come up with a law to keep hold of the immigrants that were in the country, because borders
Yeah.
closed చేశారు.
Right.
And immigrants were starting to get restless because they clearly understood that government's policies are anti-immigrant.
Right.
So they were like, the pressure developed chala అయింది, and they were pushed into a corner where they had to do something for migrants, and that's where they came up with a one-off residence package for migrants అన్నమాట. So they were like about 120,000 migrants, 1.2 1.3 lakh migrants that were eligible for residency. They came
Okay.
up with a package, a simplified package, saying if you draw more than so and so per hour, if your annual income is more than so and so dollars, and if you happen to work in certain industries, like ekkadaithe skill shortage undo, healthcare or something like that, a one-off package icharu, where like almost 1,20,000 of them were
You're a
eligible.
resident. You're a permanent resident now.
Soon, very soon. I've applied. My application final stage lo undi, so touch wood, very soon.
Yeah,
Of
fingers
course.
crossed
Yeah.
it'll
Hopefully
happen.
that will happen.
Yeah.
You'll
That's
become.
awesome.
I thought I thought 2022 was the year, but nah, wasn't to be. Yeah, this is the year for sure.
How long was it ago? Did you apply? Like 1 year, 2 years ago?
I've applied. I mean, I applied about 8 months ago, but then all of a sudden, in almost 1.5 lakh applications వచ్చాయి కాబట్టి they couldn't cope up with it. The system crashed, and then they were understaffed as well.
Yeah. Now you're able to get like a permanent status in 1 or 2 years. But usually, how long would it take that you ever heard of your seniors or something?
It will take a while because now they've simplified things. Basically, I mean, ఇప్పుడు చాలా streamline చేశారు ఇప్పుడు. The new legislation that they came up with a little while ago, it's simplified. You can come, you can study, you get points for basically your age and all of that. It's a lot simplified now, but then మేము వచ్చినప్పుడు it was like a little complex ఇక్కడ. I mean, it was a little tough to climb the ladder and I've known people who've been here for like 10, 11 years still on visas. But then
Yes,
luckily,
in US lo kuda ante kada, like backlog of 1 decade or 1.5, it'll take that long. And family పిల్లలు పుట్టినాక దాని తర్వాత గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ వస్తుంది US లో. That's how
అంతేగా
it.
మరి. I mean, అది నామ్ అయిపోయింది ఈ మధ్య. ఎక్కడికి పోయినా 5-10 ఏళ్ళు ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయాలి, అప్పుడే రెసిడెన్సీ దొరుకుతుంది.
But this is awesome that you sort of skip through the stages and you're getting it. I mean, for every what do you say, for every challenge and hardship that you faced, like the COVID lockdown and edokati some positive thing has come back for it, I guess, in a way.
I probably think I'm one of those lucky ones, like you said, because I've seen people slog it out 10 ఏళ్ళు 12 ఏళ్ళు.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's barely taken 4 years.
How is it being a Kiwi? How is life there?
I am not yet a Kiwi, but I'd like to consider myself as one though.
Any years to be official Kiwi or something?
Residency వచ్చాక 5 ఏళ్ళు అవుతుంది పాస్పోర్ట్ దొరకడానికి. 5 years.
Okay.
So first 2 years వచ్చేసి there's a travel condition on your residency. After 2 years, you become a permanent resident. That is if you meet your travel conditions, and then 3 years from then, you're eligible to get your passport.
Okay.
India, it's probably one of the most powerful passports.
New Zealand's?
COVID lockdown start ayyaka, and when it culminated, it was the most powerful passport dunya mein. End of COVID lockdown, because of the way COVID was handled. Immediately after that survey చేసినప్పుడు number 1 passport ఉండేది.
Why New Zealand? Like, why did you choose that over other English speaking countries? Not just Australia, but like other.
That goes back to supply chain that he wanted to do. Is New Zealand the place?
My choice of subject was probably being offered only by Australia and New Zealand. And Australia was like unaffordable. 50 lakhs for 2 years is a tad too much, and I mean, end of the day, I wouldn't have gotten a 3-year work permit as well. When I look at return on investment, it made more sense to come here than to go there.
Right.
You were looking at like long-term plans?
He basically wanted to go to New Zealand because he likes the cricket team, okay? He wanted to meet Kane Williamson and Kane Maman kalvadanik poyindu.
Kane Maman kalvalekpoyina mama. Poyinappudalla vaadu either
I saw a picture of you with one of the commentators, right?
అరే అందరిని క్యాజువల్ గా కలవచ్చు. దే కీప్ వాకింగ్ అన్నమాట క్యాజువల్ గా. దే డోంట్ కేర్ పీపుల్.
If you go to a New Zealand cricket ground, you just meet the players, say hi, say hello and come back, right?
రవి శాస్త్రి పక్కన ఉండే మామ. Like literally we were sitting in front of the pavilion అన్నమాట. కామెంటరీ బాక్స్ వెనకాలే ఉంది, pavilion వెనకాలే ఉంది. ఎవరు పట్టించుకుంటలేరు.
Oh my god, look at the clarity.
No, that's
just shot from a Samsung phone, you see. I mean,
can you say what that is again? Samsung, Android akkada. Eememo iPhone konuko అని చంపుతుంది.
This is quite far from where I stay right now. Kani where I studied akkad nunchi this was just 5 hours.
What is the name of this place, just for the listeners, like, because I can't look at
this is Pancake Rocks.
It looks like that, right?
The western coast of New Zealand and
Okay.
So basically that formation that resembles a shape of a pancake.
Right, yeah.
And then you've got those shallow formations and limestone formations. So akkada neeku aa waves tagile itla paiki vastayi, and if you're lucky you can see rainbow formation there because sun akkada tagili adi prism la form ayi pakkane rainbow la kanipistundi. We weren't lucky that day, but then it's a beautiful place. So this was like my first day there, my first visit to the beach, and trust me when I say this, I knew nobody from the whole continent, let alone country, whole continent. సో నాకు ఎవరు తెలియదు. I had to like come and slog it out myself. So that's I was a
Like,
complete
no relatives, like no family help, like no
nobody
friends.
there, nobody at all.
How was it the initial, like, months or, the initial years of
Struggle,
student?
I mean, అది రియల్ స్ట్రగుల్. అండ్ వెజిటేరియన్స్ కి ఇక్కడ లైఫ్ చాలా టఫ్, టు బి ఆనెస్ట్.
Ooh.
And coming from Hyderabad, you never really had to like spend time in the kitchen. I couldn't cook for jack shit. I couldn't cook.
Yeah.
So that was a big struggle for me. ఇక్కడ వెజిటేరియన్ ఫుడ్ దొరకడం కష్టము, అండ్ నాకు వంట చేయడం రాదు కాబట్టి ఇట్ వాస్ అ రియల్ స్ట్రగుల్. బట్ దెన్ అగైన్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వాస్, టు బి ఆనెస్ట్, నాకు ఇక్కడ ఎవరు లేరు, ఎవరు తెలియదు. Right from finding a place to stay and finding something to eat, everything was a struggle. And then
Yeah, like
the
the
stark
places
contrast
like-
in the education system, that
Yeah.
everything was a struggle.
Yeah, when you go to countries like US and Canada, at least the food and those kind of stuff, you still have Indian food and all of that. At
Easily
least
accessible,
Indian
yeah.
people, I mean, even in New Zealand we do, but at least on the food side, you don't have to struggle in places like these. But when you go to like China, Ireland, New Zealand,
God.
and all of these places, like if you're struggling with food itself, then everything else is like gets even more
It
difficult,
does,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I think food plays such a
It was
yeah.
the struggle was a lot more than what anyone else would probably narrate, because I was based in a small town. I studied in a place called Nelson, which was basically a very small town with about 55,000 people.
Okay.
And considering that the town is itself so small, getting access to vegetarian food is next to impossible and matter. I mean, even if you do, it's expensive, and when you go there, you don't understand kada, like conversion rate enti enta
Right.
kharchu pedte, it's normal.
What about it feels like it can be a lot of farming areas also, right? Like no local.
This country is known for farming, to be honest. ikkada the ratio of sheep is to human being is 7:1. So basically okka human being you find 7 sheep. So
Wow.
that's the population of livestock ikkada.
That's
7
why
sheep is for 1 human being.
all the videos you see on Instagram are of the sheep in
Yeah.
New Zealand, not of people going around. Other places you'll see cars and humans.
Yeah.
In New
There's
Zealand,
the
you see.
sheep here.
What was the college that you went to for your supply chain?
I studied in a place called Nelson, and this university was Nelson Marlborough Institute of Technology,
Okay.
a little town in the South Island of New Zealand and Mata. Basically, it's 2 different islands. They've got the Pacific Ocean in between, and they've got 2 islands there. So it's North Island and South Island. This was
You remember-
my first asset in New Zealand, my little cycle.
This is exactly the same bike that Sankalp has. I think I was like, are
not
you
exactly, yeah,
fellow-
but
Yeah.
it's still the same asset I have, a bike. That's all I needed. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
basically, this is where I lived on Mata, up the hill. So I used to get up to this like clouds hovering above you, and then
Wow.
like lush green countryside, no vehicles around.
And how were your interactions like with Kiwis there, like kind people or
Very kind, very accommodative,
Right.
very friendly, humble people. They're always willing to help.
right?
And yeah, I mean, this no racism whatsoever.
So is there any local like vegetarian food there that's popular, or
Local dish.
Vegetarian food, everything you get here is meat. I mean, vegetarian food kavalante, it's just fish and chips store kelly, just chips.
just eat the chips? Yeah. So you didn't support New Zealand when you watched New Zealand?
I did, but then New Zealand and India ఒకటే మ్యాచ్ అటెండ్ చేశాను.
Kane Mama is
कुछ
here.
भी बोलो, अपना इंडिया का जोश अलग रहता है स्टेडियम में.
It's such a beautiful, every ground in New Zealand is so beautiful, as you can see. How different is it from like the stands in
That
India,
we
right?
see, yeah.
Just you can anyone can come and sit on the grass, lawn and everything. It's so close to the. It looks like a regular.
You
cricket
feel
Like
like
a
you're
rehearse.
sitting right beside them. You're so close to the action. Kane was just walking past, and I was sitting right beside the pavilion, and I just wanted to poke him. So मैं गया उसके पास, and then I was like, I come from the same part of India that you represent, and then he goes like, where? And then I started conversing with him, Hyderabad and shit like that. I told him that we stay very close to where you play from, so the Tupal Stadium's not too far from our place. I was just conversing with him. He stood by, and last minute we were like having a conversation.
What's your most favorite memory is it possible for you to share like just one memory, or do you have like top three moments that
I'd
top three
say, yeah,
that define your journey, right? Like, yeah.
I'd probably say that my convocation day, my graduation day was probably the biggest of them all. But then
Okay.
not having my family beside, that kind of ruined the day.
No, but I wanted to have the, the feeling of just like wearing the hat and everything. And it's
Yeah,
a special moment, right? It's very
that's a
bitter.
once in a lifetime wala moment.
You
Yeah.
keep waiting, for that day. It's so special. And then it was like, it was just snatched away from all of us, I feel.
I'd say the transition from, owning a cycle to now owning a car, and then, going around all by yourself, that also has to be a success.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
big one,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, going from two
Or
wheels.
probably a transition from having nothing to owning a cycle to now owning a car, and hopefully a few more assets in the days to come.
What is on your to-do list, or bucket list for this year? Where are you planning to go? What are you planning to do in New Zealand?
I have done skydiving before, but then I want to do it again. So
Okay.
that's on my bucket list this year. And there's world's highest bungee jump is in New Zealand, so I plan on doing that as well. That's definitely not my thing. I'm super scared of heights. But
Bungee
then,
jump from where? Is it like not a building, right? From a mountain or something?
no, it's from a mountain. It's got the highest bungee jump on Mata. There's this place, a very famous tourist destination, Queenstown, Ani. That's
Okay.
where that's where you've got like everything to do. All your adventure activities are there on Mata.
Okay, this looks like a completely
This is something that you guys are used to,
Yeah, this
and
looks
this
like
is something that you get to see in a.
this is New Zealand.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
It snows there in some months of the year.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does snow in quite a few places. Not in Auckland though. A couple of 100 kilometers from Auckland, it does snow there. This is something that you are like used to. You get to see it on a daily basis. But
Yeah,
then for
even
us, we like drive a.
that on a phone, I mean on a laptop in a video. If you want, I can open this door and show you the where is this location, Rohit? Like
This
where are
this is actually a volcanic mountain. This is one of those dormant volcanic mountains in New Zealand. It snows during winter, and then in summer it's got those barren. It's got a barren look to it, so you can go and if you go in the months of summer, you get to see barren mountains and all of that volcanic beauty. But if you
Hmm.
go in the months of winter, this is what you get to see. It's called Whakapapa. It's about 350 kilometers from Auckland.
Oh wow,
So
okay.
just about 5 hours drive.
Hmm.
So yeah, you get to see a completely different look of it if you go in the months of summer. The moment I finished my course was when I felt that I've done something right, because it was tough to begin with. I mean, I landed just one day before my course started, so
Okay.
everything was new to me, right from the time zone to the food to accommodation to having no friends around.
Right, right.
And
The
I had very little time to settle.
the
And yeah,
expectation, the reality, how so it was quite a reality check, right? Like I think that's for every international student.
and for someone who's never stepped out of home, and for someone who's been pampered all along, it was a tough mountain to climb. I mean, from being at home to being
Yeah.
in aliens territory, it was very
Mhm.
tough.
Well, we are glad now. I think you're in a very better place, or much stable place than how it all started. Like for all of us, people who survive are the people who are are strong-willed, like who know it's gonna be difficult. That's why you decided to do it, right? And once you've made it, it's an amazing feeling. So
And when I look back at myself like 10 years back, when the Rohit that you guys knew, this wouldn't have been possible for the Rohit 10 years back.
yeah.
I mean, I was like laid back with nothing, no ambitions in life. I was like, chalo, jo hoga so dekhte hain. But then 10 years down the lane, I feel like I've done a lot in life.
No, that's the special part about our guest Rohit is, right? Like, even though he feels like he's had a lot of life lessons, he's still that funny person who who is always has that smile on his face, and he still kept that true to himself even after so many struggles or challenges that he went through. So good job, Rohit.
Not used to accolades, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And what would advice say, Miss though? Like, would you say something to your younger self who was planning to already Indian వెళ్ళిపోదాం and do this career here? Like, would you say something differently, or any advice you would give to your younger self
Uh,
that helped you a lot, like
I,
interacting with people, or getting out there, trusting yourself more? What was that zeal for you?
I would say that one thing that I'm missing right now is that jovialness, that that laid back attitude's not there anymore. Because I know that life's not so easy. It was easy back in the day when you were at home and you were being fed and you were being pampered.
Yeah.
But like I said, that Josh, that energy is missing now. That's something that I'd like to look back upon and bring that back again.
Right.
That naughtiness, that Josh, all of that's gone. But
That I,
again, with age, you tend to mature, and the
that's what I was.
responsibility kicks in.
I think it's mostly just age that all of us lose that sense of carefreeness.
Yeah.
Where back home we can rely on our parents or family, or our loved ones, and they take care of all the serious grown up things, so we can have fun.
Yeah.
And over here we have to do both.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, it's not too late. You can still be that. Example is me and the fun things that I do, even though there's like so many responsibilities out here. But no, keep being that that funny guy that we know from school. Last bench lo
Oh
kuchoni, and
yeah, those
just
those
saying
days were amazing, man.
random fun things from the back, and making everyone laugh. And even what you decided to do with this podcast, just signing up for it and interacting and sharing, that that shows that there's still that
You're
side.
still the same person.
Yeah, you're still the same person who loves to enjoy and share. Your only problem is
Definitely.
that Sunrisers is not doing good, and Kane Mama got పోయిండు కదా, he is also not there anymore.
పోయిండుగా వాడు గుజరాత్కి పోయిండు.
వార్నర్ పోయిండు, కేన్ మామ పోయిండు. ఐ డోంట్ నో ఇప్పుడు హూ ఇస్ లెఫ్ట్. రాహుల్ త్రిపాఠి ఏం
రషీద్
చేస్తున్నాడు?
కూడా అందరు పోయినారు. రషీద్ పోయాడు.
So that is the majority, like
that's why he's not carefree.
That's why we are sad.
Steam back.
Yeah, it's not the flooding there, it's not the snow here, it's just that Sunrisers ఎప్పుడు ఆరెంజ్ ఆర్మీ ఎప్పుడు కష్టపడి మళ్ళీ కప్పు కొడుతుంది.
Go through so much on a daily basis, but when somebody else shares their experience, you tend to feel like you've got so much to relate to with them. That's nice to see, and good job. I mean,
Yeah.
very nice initiative from both of you.
Thank you.
It's all him.
That was the motive, right? Just to put it out there so that people know, yes, the difficult parts are out there. Yes, we're all going through, even
you're not alone.
even in New Zealand, even in Canada, even in Germany, wherever it is. And you're not alone, and this is the reality of it, right? If you decide to do a master's program out there, this is what you'll have to go through. So good luck, but also get ready to have a lot of memories and fun. And yeah, thank you so much, Rohit. Thanks for being our guest. And
it was so nice to meet you, and my favorite part is that I get to
Most welcome.
his friends, and so the next time whenever we all meet in person, we won't be strangers. Right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So hopefully we'll see you the next time we'll see you in New Zealand, maybe.
Yeah.
On a short trip, and
Ada. More than welcome.
we'll have much more fun.
I don't know about the short trip. I'll probably bring a bigger suitcase and plan to move there, because it's so gorgeous. Like, how can you not?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
shift.
More than welcome.